Cold email is dead. That's what they tell me. Cold outreach is dead. That's what they tell me. But these people that do not get results by using these methods, it's usually very simple to see why they make these claims. That is because they make mistakes that they do not learn from. In this video, I will cover the top 10 B2B email outreach mistakes that are the reason you might be missing out on gold. Because this is the reality of business-to-business marketing. 73% of B2B buyers read their emails at least once a day. I want you to keep these statistics in mind as we go on. 39% of B2B business owners check their emails between 3 and 5 times daily, where 27% check up to 20 times and 22% even more. And that is why when you're sending someone an email, a marketing email, you have to make every word count because you have less than 1 minute. The average person spends about 2 to 3 seconds scanning the subject line to decide whether to open the email or not. You've probably received an email today that you've decided in your mind, consciously or subconsciously, to open or not open. And then the average person then spends 10 to 30 seconds skimming the content before deciding if they want to read more closely. So the majority of emails just get skimmed through. If it catches their attention, they will read it more closely. So let's get into the top 10 mistakes. The first one and the worst one is the bad email setup. It doesn't matter how good your writing is, how or whoever you're reaching out to or whatever your goal is, if you don't have a proper authenticated email set up with the correct DNS records, you can be certain today in 2024 that your email will not reach your recipient's inbox. If you can track it, manage it, and keep the setup fresh, this is what's going to happen. Without a good setup, it can ruin even the most relevant written email of all time that speaks and ticks all boxes, which makes this the most important part. Number 2, not warming up the emails properly. Failing to warm up your email address can lead to poor deliverability, high bounce rates, and make your emails being marked as spam. Gradually increasing sending volume helps build trust with email providers such as Google and Microsoft and improves inbox placement. You should warm up for at least 3 weeks and always keep it on. Using private server warm-up tools like warmbox.ai automates this process, ensuring your emails land in the inbox and not in the spam folder, constantly protecting your sender reputation. So I can really recommend to invest in a tool like that. Number 3, lack of research. This is one of the worst ones because your ideal customer profile is the cornerstone of any successful outreach campaign. The specific group of businesses or individuals who will benefit most from your product or service. If you don't conduct a thorough market research, it's increasingly more and more tough to create a relevant offer. So this has to be done through either one-on-one speaking, surveys, reading relevant forums, and yielding AI tools. A mix of all of these is the best. Number 4, bad lead list. If you use outdated or inaccurate leads, this can harm your outreach efforts. It leads to low engagement and high bounce rates, wasted resources, and potential legal risks. Bad lists damage your sender reputation and cause missed opportunities with the right prospects if you just put some more time. Always prioritize clean, accurate, and targeted lists for better results. Use verified B2B scraping tools like Lead Magic. Number 5, lack of relevance. The 5th worst thing that can happen to your outreach strategy is writing emails that are not relevant to your target audience. It doesn't matter what you say, it will simply not get responded to. Take your time to really enrich data and conduct the market research as I mentioned. Focus on all the pain points that you can find your ICP and create sales arguments. Number 6, being self-centered. Okay, this is a very common one for beginners when they start with cold email. You focus too much on your products and your own product and service, and this can come off as self-centered. Instead, 90% of the focus needs to be on the recipient's pain points and needs. You are there to help them solve their problems, which prevents them from growing. By using your solutions, they will get where they want to be, and nobody really truly cares how great you are. It's just about how great you make them. Number 7, no A and B testing. If you don't test your emails or your elements of your emails, like subject lines or call to actions, this means that you're missing out on potential improvements. What works for one certain lead segment can totally fail for another. In email outreach, it is impossible to predict everything, although it's far superior to other channels, if we compare it to ads, for example. But by A and B testing, so 2 different variations or more, you cannot fail. Why? Because you are bound to come to a solution that is the most relevant and brings the most revenue if you just test. Number 8, a very underrated one, ignoring subject line relevance. The email subject line is the first impression that everyone sees if they decide to open an email. So you need to avoid spammy words and make it compelling. There's a few different strategies that you can use to create a relevant and interesting subject line, but what's most important is to make it seem like an internal email, like you're already a part of their organization. Avoid subject lines that are too generic or too bold nowadays, like quick question. Number 9, bad follow-ups. Most sales conversions actually come from the email follow-ups because sometimes prospects may miss your email totally, or they are not entirely convinced. By leveraging valuable follow-ups that boost your main email by providing more valuable information about their problems or your service. So if your follow-ups then include like social proof, case studies, your testimonials, or you get your prospect to respond by making specific statements, for example, like you tell them, I guess you don't handle this area. That's a very simple follow-up, but because people love to correct you, this can start a conversation when they tell you that, yes, I am a part of this, I am responsible for this, but it's not relevant right now. Number 10, using an overly complex CTA, call to action. Asking your recipients to complete multiple steps is a big mistake. A clear and simple CTA drives better results because the recipient knows what to do next. For example, you can create them a short video like I'm doing right now, tailored right to them, and ask if you can send it over. This is a simple CTA that they can just answer yes to. Or you can simply ask them, do you mind if I send more info? Another simple CTA that they just can't say no to, and they will definitely say yes. Simplicity is the key here. In short, please make sure to set up your emails properly, warm them up, make the research, get a good lead list, make it relevant to your audience. Do not talk about yourself too much. Test your emails, make the subject line relevant, interesting, and a part of their organization. Follow up your prospects and give them a simple CTA. And I promise you that your email campaign will be successful.